This is Dr. M.L.N. Acharyalu, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. Today, we are going to discuss about the antenna arrays. Basically, the antenna arrays are we used to take an array of 2-point sources, linear array of n isotropic point sources, and the principle of pattern multiplication. We are going like this. Generally, used to take the n number of arrays will be in the different types, which is a broadside array, edifier array, like that, and which will be considered the extension to get a more directivity by using of the binomial array and the Dolbesch-Chebyshev array like this. But in this session, we are going to talk about the antenna arrays. So here, what is an array? What is an array? Array is generally used to take an array is an n elements is said to be a linear array if all the individual elements are spaced equally along a line, and that array gives the maximum directive beam in a particular direction. That is uniformly progressive the phase shift along the line. And we used to take generally the introduction part of the antenna arrays and the 2-element array and the different cases and the n-element array, linear array with the uniform amplitude and spacing. These topics we are going to discuss in this session. So here, array is an assembly of antenna elements arranged in an orderly fashion. So the elements are usually identical. Generally used to take the n number of elements should be placed at a particular axis with somewhat the phase as well as the amplitudes, the same phase and same amplitudes with somewhat distance. There is n number of elements like 2 elements, 3 elements, 4 elements, like this. The requirement, according to the requirement of our application, we have to design an array. So these arrays generally used in different applications. So why array? When high gain is required and the narrow beam is required, then we will we used to design an array. So the single element, it gives the wide band, but it has the low directivity. If increasing the size, then it have difficulty to design. That's why so we used to go for the arrays, and the useful especially when the element gain is low. So therefore, arrays need to increase the directive gain in a particular direction, right? So therefore, how many types of arrays? Generally used to take the different types, that is the fixed direction arrays and the steerable direction arrays. Fixed direction arrays is on particular axis, the array will be fixed and it gives the particular direction, it gives the directive gain. It cannot be changed, it cannot be altered. But in other case, used to take a steerable one is there. With respect to the phase, the array direction will be changed. So it is in this form of the two types. One is the mechanical, another one is the electronic. But mechanical is also there, but it gives the little bit inaccuracy. But we'll coming to the electronic phased array, it gives the accuracy with very fast movements and the excellent performance compared to the other. So now we'll coming to this in an array of identical elements, there are in general the 5 controls that can be used to shape overall pattern of the antenna. That is generally the geometrical configuration. You say that the linear, circular, elliptical, like that. And the relative displacement between the elements. That is the relative displacement. You say that the change of the places. You say that generally the distance between the two elements is lambda by 2 or lambda by 4, like that, which is indicated by D. The excitation amplitude of individual elements. This is also very important here. The excitation of the phase of individual elements and the relative pattern of the individual elements. So therefore, the overall pattern depends on all these parameters. Number 1 is the geometrical configuration, next the relative displacement between the elements and the excitation of the amplitude of individual elements, as well as the excitation of the phase of individual elements and relative pattern of the individual elements. The 5 parameters will take into the account to get the overall performance of the array. So here generally used to take a two element array, 2 point sources or two elements, whatever it may be. So here he used to take two infinitesimal dipoles, which is placed at the exactly at the center. XY axis you will take generally, or YZ axis, whatever it may be. In this figure you say that which is at exactly center. So the placing spacing between the arrays, I mean elements, is equivalent to the d, but it is with respect to the center of the coordinate. So therefore d by 2 from the center of the coordinate to the first element, and from center of coordinate to the second element is the d by 2. With respect to that, and the phases will be there. One is the theta 1, theta, and theta 2, like this. So therefore here the far field observation used to take r distance from the point source. Then you will take the far field observation. You used to take what is the radiation pattern, what is the field, radiation field which is in the electric field. So therefore used to take a two element array example. You used to take that the two element array, the case one, the two isotropic point sources are the same amplitude in the same phase. So here the total field pattern, the amplitude pattern, and the maximum and minimum directions of the 2 point sources. So now we used to take generally. So the 2 point sources will be placed here. Consider two isotropic point sources. They are separated by a distance of d here. The angle between the coordinates x and the point P is phi, you say that. These are as already given in the above figure. So here the distance between the 2 point sources will be d here. So the distance between the point sources, which is indicated by psi generally. So here you say that recall the far zone electric field of the horizontal infinitesimal dipole in the YZ plane. Then E is equivalent to the theta, the j k eta I naught L e power minus j k r by 4 pi r into cos theta. The total electric field. You used to take the field between the first point source and the second point source. You say that the first point source we call it as E1, and the second point source we call it as E2. The total phase difference between the field from the 2 and 1, and at a distance point you say that the P in the diagram. So that is the psi is equivalent to the 2 pi into the path difference. That is called the path difference. We call it as a beta. Beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda. So therefore here the path difference, the n plus the deviation, that is the radiance. These are the phase del equal to 0 here. So therefore the path difference obtained from the above figure. So here the cos phi is equivalent to the x by d. You say that where x is equal to d cos phi. Then you will take x is equal to, with respect to the wavelengths, so d by lambda into cos phi, where psi is equal to the 2 pi into x, where you say that 2 pi into d cos phi by lambda, psi is equal to. Therefore, you will get the psi. The 2 pi by lambda is nothing but what? Beta. So therefore, psi is equal to beta d cos phi. So here, this is the total electric field, which is equivalent to the beta d cot phi. E is equal to, but the E is equal to what? E1 plus E2. Let you say that the total field of the two elements, the E1 far field due to the source 1, and E2 is the far field due to the source 2. In the field produced by this array of a two element at a distant point from the horizon. So here we say that the E is equal to E1 plus E2, like that. So therefore, what is the angle between them? Just to observe that here, in this figure, this is at the junction exactly, and here this is the e power minus j omega t and the e power plus j omega c. Otherwise, you say that e power minus j psi by 2 and e power minus plus j psi by 2, like this. So therefore, according to that, we say, and here the total electric field produced due to the point source 1 and point source 2, you say that the field produced by the array of the two elements at a distant point P from the horizon, and which is given by E is equal to E1 plus E2 into of so and so. So therefore, what is E1? E1 is equal to E power E1 is equal to E naught into E power minus J psi, and other E2 into e power plus j psi. So therefore, that should be clubbed together and we'll get the, add the both electric fields, then we'll get the resultant field, the E1 plus E2. So therefore, the resultant is theta j k eta L into of I1 into e power minus j k R1 by 4 pi R1 cos theta 1 plus I2 into e power minus j k2 by 4 pi R2 cos theta 2. So here, this is about the two isotopic point sources are placed with somewhat distance. So here, whatever I told here, using the far field approximation, you say that R1 is equal to R2 equal to R, you say. So therefore, the distance from the first isotopic point sources, which is indicated by R1, which is equal to R minus d by 2 into cos theta, R2 equal to R plus d by 2 into cos theta. So the total electric field, which is becomes E is equal to, from the above equation you say that, so theta j k eta L into cos theta e power minus j k r by 4 pi r into of I1 e power j k d cos theta plus I2 e power minus j k d cos theta by 2. So again you say that I1 is equal to I naught into e power j beta by 2, I2 equal to I naught into e power minus j beta by 2. Where beta is the phase difference, already know that, then you will get the results is E equal to theta into j eta I naught L into cos theta e power minus j k r by 4 pi r into of 2 cos of k d by 2 cos theta plus beta by 2. So here from this above figure you say that this is the total field is equivalent to the product of the element factor and the array factor. Both will be considered here. So now we'll coming to this. This is the field patterns. So if we'll take from the above figure, above equation, you say that beta equal to 0 and d equal to lambda by 4. What happened? Just to observe that from this beta equal to 0 and lambda is equal to d equal to lambda by 4. Then we'll observe from this the beta equal to 0 means here it is 0, d equal to lambda by 4. Then we will apply in place of that and you will get the results is the final results you will get the like this. This is the element, what is the element? Broadside array structure here, radiation pattern, and here it is called the array factor, which is like this, and both will be multiplied and get the results is like this. If you will take the beta, phase difference will be there 90 degrees for example, which is in a case 3 for example. Beta equal to 90 degrees or pi by 2 and the d equal to lambda by 4. What happened? If you will come to this, this is the same, the elemental factor is same, there is no difference, but we will coming to this is the array factor, which is a little bit different to that, and the product of these two will give the radiation pattern is a maximum in the third coordinate, general third and fourth coordinates, and the third and fourth coordinates, and the minimum lobes should be get in a 1 and 4th coordinates. So this is about the electric field pattern of the antenna array, which we are taking the phase difference and the amplitudes and the distance between the elements. These parameters will take into the account. Now we are going to talk about the n element linear array. The uniform amplitude and the spacing, we will say that. If we will take n number of arrays will be there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on n. So here the spacing between the elements is d here. So therefore if the amplitude and spacing both are uniform, then the array factor becomes AF is equivalent to the 1 plus, because it is at the origin. So therefore e power j0, then that equal to 1. So E1 plus e power j into kd cos theta plus beta. So here it consists of beta 2 pi by lambda plus kd cos theta, the 2 pi by lambda into of lambda by somewhat distance between them. So we will get like this. Then the final array factor, which is equivalent to the n is equal to 1 to n and e power j into n minus 1 into psi, where psi is called the kd cos theta plus beta, that is called the psi. So therefore here you observe that this is the geometry of the array, and here it is the phase diagram, how the vector diagram will come for The n element array is like this. This is the phase diagram. Array factor is like this. So here it is the one angle 0, one angle psi. Again one angle, amplitude is 1, equal amplitudes, but the phase difference will be there here. The psi phase difference everywhere. So therefore here the one angle psi, one angle 2 psi, one angle 3 psi, like that. So up to so on 1 into n minus 1 angle psi. So this is about the phase diagram of the n element array. Now we'll coming to this, the n element linear array uniformly placed with the same amplitude and the spacing. So therefore here you say that the array factor equal to e power j n psi minus 1 by e power j psi minus 1. So here will common the e power j n minus 1 by 2 into psi is common here, and so you will get like this, e power j n psi by 2 minus e power minus j n psi by 2 whole by e power j psi by 2 minus e power j psi by 2. So therefore it is a sine function generally, because j and j will be multiply and division, then we will get like this, sine function will get, this is the e power j n minus 1 by 2 into psi into sin n psi by 2 by sin psi by 2. If this reference point is physical center of the array, then we will get the array factor which is equivalent to the sin n psi by 2 by sin psi by 2, which is for the small psi values. So we will get small psi values, then the sin psi by 2 equivalent to the psi by 2, then the final answer which will get the 2 sin n psi by 2 by psi. This is about the n element array with the uniform amplitude and spacing. Now we will take the n element array uniform amplitude and spacing, which is the same, you will get like this sinc function. We will get the n sin n psi by 2 by psi by the continuity of that. Then you will get like this. So the n elements is there. So sin of n psi by 2 equal to 0. Then you will get n psi by 2 equal to plus or minus n pi, where theta equal to theta n. So therefore theta n equal to cos inverse of lambda by 2 pi d of minus beta plus 2 n by n into pi, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to so on, and which is n small n is not equivalent to the n, 2n and 3n. This is the condition. So the maximum, this is about the nulls. Now we are going to take the maximum. When it is maximum, psi by 2 at theta equal to theta max, which is equivalent to the minus or plus m pi, which tends to the theta m is equal to cos inverse of lambda by 2 pi d into of minus beta plus or minus 2 m pi, where m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is about the maximum for the n element array. This is a normalized array factor. What we got, n is equal to 1, n is equal to, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, like this. This is up to n number of elements, and the phase versus the array factor. This is the graphical representation of the results of the n element array. So now this is n element linear array with the amplitude and the spacing, which is again the 3 dB points will coming to this. So the sin n psi by 2 by sin psi by 2, which is equal to 1 by root 2, because the 3 dB point at the 45 degrees. So therefore 1 by root 2, which is equivalent to the. So when it is possible, n psi by 2 at theta equivalent to the theta h, that is HPBW like. Therefore which is equal to plus or minus 1.391. So theta h is equal to cos inverse of lambda by 2 pi d into minus beta plus 2.782 by n. And again which will be results like this, the pi by 2 minus of sin inverse of lambda by 2 pi d of minus beta plus or minus 2.782 by n, because what is the sign of, what is the sin and cos relations? Sin of 90 minus theta equal to the cos theta, cos of 90 minus theta equal to the sin theta. So therefore similarly we used to take like this, this is the theta h, and the HPBW in the symmetrical case, which is the theta h is equivalent to the 2 into of theta m minus theta h. And the secondary maximas at the sin n psi by 2 at theta equivalent to the theta z, theta h. So you will get a plus or minus 1. So therefore here n psi by 2 at theta equal to theta z is, which is equivalent to the plus or minus 2s plus 1 by 2 into pi. then theta s is equal to what actually? Theta s is the cos inverse of lambda by 2 pi d into f minus beta plus 2s plus 1 by n into pi, where s is equal to 1, 2, 3. Then we substitute, and this is the secondary maximal lobes. And the n element linear array with the uniform amplitude and spacing, with the case, in the other case, just we will take the first side lobes n psi by 2 at theta equal to theta s side lobe, then plus or minus 3 by 2 pi. 3 by 2 pi means what actually? This is the 270, 3 by 2 pi, 3 into 180 by 2, 270 degrees plus or minus. So that is the first side lobe. We will get the theta s is equal to cos inverse of lambda by 2 pi d into f minus beta plus or minus 3 by n into pi. Why we used to take what is the theta s? You have to observe in this diagram figure, the equation, from the figure itself, you have to take what is the spacing between them, which is indicated by d. And already you know that beta equal to 2 pi by lambda. So again you know that what is the n? N is the integer. So you have to substitute those values and get the first side lobe, what is the angle and all. At this moment the angle will come approximately equivalent to the plus or minus 3 pi by 2, that means the 270 degrees generally. First side lobe level, which is the array factor for this, is sin n psi by 2 by n psi by 2, which is equal to where the s is equal to 1, the first side lobe, and here the theta equal to theta s. So therefore 2 by 3 pi, which is equivalent to the minus 13.46 decibels. This is about the first side lobe levels, and so this is about the total what is the array of this antennas, and the n elements is there. So how we are going to take the spacing between the elements, and what parameters is dependent for the radiation patterns of the arrays. Okay, we'll subsequently we'll give the next lectures about the other antenna arrays, broadside and end fire arrays.